There is a very common misconception around astral projection that when you do it, something literally leaves your body. The soul or the spirit leaving and the body being left empty or even being vulnerable to possession. This idea is so widespread that for many people, it becomes the main source of fear before they even attempt astral projection. My name is Steven Carva and I help people consciously explore outside the physical realm through altered states of consciousness. In today's video, I want to break down that misconception very clearly. I want to explain where this belief actually comes from, why it became so popular, and why it doesn't reflect what's really happening during a projection. More importantly, I want to explain why astral projection is not dangerous and why nothing about you is ever left behind when you project. So to understand why people believe that something leaves the body, we need to look at the history behind it. You see, for a very long time, people have been experiencing altered states of consciousness. They've been entering trance states, having vivid dreams, near-death experiences, spontaneous out-of-body type experiences, but they had no framework to understand them in psychological or neurological terms. So they explained them symbolically. When someone experienced their awareness existing outside their physical surroundings, the only way to describe it was to say that their soul traveled or their spirit left the body. These descriptions were never meant to be literal in the way we interpret them today. They were metaphors meant to communicate an internal shift. And I would say that the reason also why this misconception became so deeply ingrained has a lot to do with the influence of Robert Monroe. Now, Monroe played a huge role in bringing astral projection to the modern world, especially in the West. His work was groundbreaking, and without him, many people would have never even heard of these states of consciousness. However, one thing he did unintentionally shaped the way astral projection is still misunderstood today. Robert Monroe coined and popularized the term out-of-body experience. At the time, this was his best attempt to describe what he was experiencing. He was a pioneer exploring these states before there was any real framework to explain them. And the sensations genuinely felt like being outside the physical body. From his perspective, the term made perfect sense. He wasn't trying to create fear or confusion, he was simply describing his direct experience as honestly as he could. The problem is that the phrase out of body strongly implies that something actually leaves the body. Once that language became widespread, it gave people a mental image of separation, detachment, and it created the idea that consciousness physically goes somewhere else rather than understanding it as a shift in perception. That single term opened the door for a lot of misinterpretation. Over time, many people, organizations, religions, even popular culture, including Hollywood, they all took that wording and just ran with it. Some built entire belief systems around the idea that a second body leaves the physical one. Others layered dangers and rules on top of it. All of that grew from language that was never meant to be taken so literal. Even Monroe himself later moved away from the idea of a simple body leaving the body explanation. His understanding evolved. He focused much more on consciousness, perception, and states of awareness, rather than physical separation. But by that point, the term out-of-body experience had already spread, everywhere, and the damage was done. But here is the key point that needs to be understood. During astral projection, nothing leaves your body, not your soul, not your spirit. Your body's never empty. You are never disconnected from it. What actually changes is where your consciousness is focused. Astral projection is a shift in awareness. Your physical body remains exactly where it is. Your brain continues to regulate breathing, heart rate, all automatic processes. Your nervous system stays active. The only thing that changes is that your awareness disengages from physical sensory input and begins to perceive through a non-physical layer of experience. This is not something unnatural. You already experience this every night when you dream. During a dream, your awareness is no longer focused on the physical room around you. Yet, no one says that your soul leaves your body when you dream, right? So, astral projection uses the same mechanism with one important difference. Instead of losing awareness, you remain conscious as the shift happens. If something truly left your body, I would think there would be no easy or automatic return. but returning to the body happens instantly and effortlessly. And if you're not fully grounded in the astral, even a small emotional reaction like excitement or fear is enough to bring awareness fully back to the physical body. This alone shows that nothing ever truly disconnects. A lot of fear also comes from the idea of the silver cord. Some of you might have heard about it. Historically, this was a symbolic way of describing the constant sense of connection people feel to their body during these experiences. People might describe a feeling of being anchored or gently pulled back. Ancient writers describe that sensation as a cord, but there is no literal cord. Nothing can snap and no one gets lost. The connection is inherent and automatic. If you do see a silver cord attached to you, it's only because you believe there is a cord. But if you believe there is no cord, then guess what? There will never be a cord. And finally, another fear that comes up often is possession. This fear is based entirely on the idea that the body becomes empty during astral projection, but it does not. Your brain remains active, your sense of self remains present, and nothing ever leaves. So nothing can enter because nothing has left. This is where it helps to clarify the language we use. The soul is not something that exits the body. The spirit is not a separate object traveling through space. Consciousness is a field of awareness that can shift focus. And during astral projection, the source remains intact. Only the focus is what moves. So understanding all this can definitely help remove some of the fear around the practice. Fear is the main thing that destabilizes astral projection. When someone believes they are doing something dangerous, the nervous system reacts and pulls awareness back into the body. But when you understand that nothing actually leaves, nothing is at risk, and that you are safe, the experience becomes calm, stable, and natural. Now, having said all this, let me be clear about something, because this is where nuance really matters. Yes, it is absolutely possible to experience things that feel uncomfortable or scary. That part is true. But the reason for that has nothing to do with your body being left empty or external entities taking advantage of you. It has everything to do with your internal state of consciousness at the moment you project. The astral experience is highly responsive to your mental and emotional state. In that sense, it acts like a mirror. Whatever level of emotional coherence, fear, calm, curiosity, or stability you carry into the experience will directly influence what you perceive. The astral is vibrational, and not in a mystical sense, but in a practical one. Your level of emotional regulation and groundedness will shape the quality of your experience. When someone enters the astral with fear, anxiety, or even unresolved emotional tension, then there's a good chance you might enter an experience that matches that state. It means your awareness is operating in a highly suggestible environment. The astral responds instantly, without the filters that normally exist in waking life. So fear creates fear-based experiences, just like it does in dreams, except it feels more real because awareness is clear. On the other hand, when someone projects from a calm, grounded, and curious state, the experience reflects that as well. The environments feel neutral, expansive, encounters feel stable. There is a sense of control and clarity. Nothing fundamentally changes about the mechanics of astral projection. It's only the quality of perception that changes. Alright guys, if this explanation helped clarify things for you, let me know in the comments what belief or fear you had about astral projection before watching this video. And if you want more grounded, clear explanations like this, just make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel. I post regularly about all things related to altered states of consciousness. Thank you to all my patrons for supporting my work. If you're not a patron yet, then please head over to the links below and just sign up to get access to all my exclusive guides, videos, Q&A sessions, and one-on-one direct messaging with me. Thank you everyone, and I'll see you again soon in the next video.
Because I am more than physical matter, I can perceive that which is greater than the physical world.